Now let's take an example. Assume that in April 2020, the cash balance in your bank was $180,000. And in May 2020, the cash balance is $120,000. And in June, the cash balance is $100,000. Now we need to calculate the burn rate and the runaway rate of your cash. Let's calculate the burn rate firstly. The burn rate is calculated as the difference between the cash balance last month and the cash balance this month. So in April, you had 180,000, and in May, you had 120,000. So the difference between them, you spend $60,000 in cash. So the burn rate in May is $60,000. And the same way, we are going to calculate the burn rate for June. In May, you had 120, and in June, you had 100,000. This means that you spend and you burned $20,000 in June. So now you can say that in May, we have some expenses, some assets to be purchased, so we spend $60,000. In June, we started to control our operating expenses. We don't have too much assets to be purchased, so our burn rate is $20,000. Or maybe the company started to take some actions to control the operating expenses and started to reduce the operating expenses and replace some of the services with outsourcing in order to reduce the cost. So now the burn rate decreased in June. Now, if you would like to calculate the runaway rate, this is also very simple. This can be calculated based on how much cash balance in May, for example, 120,000. And how much is the burn rate in May? 60,000. So by dividing 120,000 by 60,000, so the result will be 2 months, which means that if you continued on the same way of the burn rate or in the same level of the burn rate, each month 60,000, 60,000, so you have 2 months in order to run out of cash. So this the time left before running out of cash, 2 months. Let's do the same calculation for June. In June, you had a cash balance $100,000, and you spent in June, or the burn rate in June is $20,000. So simply by dividing 100,000 by 20,000, so the result will be 5 months time left before running out of cash. And again, it is clear that the company runaway rate started to be improved from 2 months to 5 months. So the rule here is, as long as the runaway rate of cash increased in terms of period, so this means that you controlled your operating expenses, you started to take some positive actions in order to reduce your burn rate and increase your runaway rate of cash. As long as you are increasing the runaway rate of your cash, so you are working to secure your operations and business in the correct way and the right way.